Qatar Airlines connects people all over the world through its capital city of Doha. But how many people have actually seen the city? They claim to have one of the greatest stopover programs on the planet, so we paid the money to see if they're right. Join us as we discover if a Qatar stopover is worth it, or if you should just take that 2-hour connection at the airport. To really tell this story, we need to rewind back to Adelaide, where we boarded a 14-hour flight bound for Doha. For an extra $234, Qatar's stopover program gives us 2 nights in a 4-star hotel and a chance to explore a whole new country. The sun has only just started rising, but with only 48 hours on the clock, we have no time to waste.
We have been in Qatar for about 3 hours now, and after landing and checking into our hotel room, we couldn't help ourselves but come for sunrise to the Mina District, and I'm so glad we did, because this is definitely the prime time to be here. It's basically all of these beautifully pastel coloured buildings, and with the sunrise coming up, it's just beautiful. What a way to start Country 55. Plus, we've really got to make the most of all of our time here because it's so limited.
So the Mina District that we're in now is the old port of Qatar, or the old port of Doha, but it looks like it's been converted into these pastel buildings that have shops and markets, but also the higher level is apartments. So we were walking upstairs that we just thought were random stairs, and the security guard was like, oh no, they're apartments.
Nice. But genuinely, if you put me here with no indication, like, if you just plopped me here, I would 100% guess that we're in Greece right now. Yeah. There's something about the rendering and the curving of everything, plus then the pastel on top of that.
We should have done more research and found out why they did that.
We'll do a voiceover.
Yeah,
you guys can
this
learn
is why.
as we do. The Mina District looks nothing like the rest of Doha, and that's on purpose. Apparently, the colours are inspired by a Mediterranean fishing town. The pastel blues, pinks and yellows were designed to make this harbour a tourist hotspot. Doha is full of glass skyscrapers and desert tones, but Mina flips the script. These quaint cobble streets were designed with the combination of soft pastels to make the district picturesque and captivating. Basically, it's a visual delight for visitors.
I've spent so much this morning just being like looking at the lighting hitting these buildings and getting Emily to walk past again and again and again. It just looks so pretty. This is not what I expected from Doha at all.
We've been here for maybe an hour or so. I think we have taken every photo possible. So it's time to move on. We are going to head about a 20-minute walk away. There's meant to be a good viewpoint of the skyline. All right, so we had grand plans of going to a viewpoint. We were exploring past the Mina District, found a bucket load of flags, and then jet lag hit us like a ton of bricks. So we went back to the hotel for a nap and didn't wake up until dinner time. Whoops.
Thankfully, we woke up in time to experience one of the best things you can do on a Qatar stopover, Souq Waqif. This is Doha's most vibrant market. It's a maze of alleyways filled with spices and fabrics, treasures that feel like they belong in a different era.
And I love it here. It kind of feels like a fake town in the nicest way possible. Like, it is incredibly clean. It feels like somewhere in Disneyland. But we found what seems to be one of the cheaper places for shawarma and hummus, which is all we were looking forward to when we knew we were coming to Qatar.
The souk is pretty cool during the day, but at night it comes alive. You can smell the grills and there's like an electricity in the air. It's not just a shopping district, it's kind of the central hub of the city.
And just like that, we've come to the end of our first day of this Qatar stopover. It was amazing, but let's be honest, we didn't really get that much done. I guess one negative about a stopover program is that you can get hit pretty bad with jet lag. But luckily for us, we have a big day planned for tomorrow. Real fast, let me tell you about something amazing we've discovered. A brand called Unbound Merino.
It was started by 3 friends who, like us, loved traveling. But here's the difference. They didn't like carrying around massive bags full of clothes and having to do washing every second day.
They wanted clothes that were easy to manage but still looked good, from sightseeing to nice dinners.
What blew me away was how well the clothes perform. In the hot, they keep you cool, and when you're cool, they keep you warm. They are super resistant to odor.
And they bounce back from being all wrinkled in your suitcase.
It does not make sense to me how something so comfortable can also be so practical.
And here's the real game changer, versatility. With just 2 or 3 items, you can create multiple outfits that always look amazing. A tee, a jumper, and pants cover you for flights, exploring a new city, or dinners out, all without a bursting suitcase.
I, for one, would much rather pack one shirt for 3 days than 3 separate shirts. Plus, all the wool is sourced from ethical farms, so you can feel good while you feel good. If you care about quality, versatility, and traveling with a lighter bag, you need to check out Unbound Merino.
You'll be surprised by how much you can do with less. Thanks again to Unbound Merino for sponsoring this adventure. You can check out the link in the description or the QR code on screen.
If you're in the souk early enough, you'll see people that are like throwing powder on the ground and rubbing it in with their foot. And that's how they keep it all so clean here. It's so impressive. There's so many of them around, cleaning up, making it look beautiful, that Emily and I were like, it seems fake because it's so clean when we were here last night.
It feels like one of those towns in Disneyland or something where it's been dressed to look a certain way. And
like a Western town?
Like, I know the render's aged, but it looks perfect. Plus then it's so clean on top of that. Like, that's why it has this almost fake feeling, even though it's not.
Almost like a veneer, yeah.
It's awesome.
But this market has been here for over 100 years. Originally it was where the Bedouins used to come and do trade with like the Qatari people.
That's so cool.
It did fall into disarray in the early 2000s, but then in 2006 or so, they decided to revamp it and they refurbished all the old buildings, demolished all the new buildings, and now there's like a lot of pride in what this is, and rightfully so. I think it's honestly one of the coolest places to come in Qatar.
I think so too. And what's so fun so far about Doha is like it all feels very, like the architecture feels very historic.
Yeah.
But then literally we're looking at the very modern skyline now because there's
city of glass over there. Yeah.
There's also like man-made islands and stuff like that. The blend is just so much fun. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay. And apparently right next to the Souq Waqif is camels. It's like a lot of camels. I don't like how they're tied to the ground and can't move at all, but they're very cute. Don't know what they're used for. Camel riding, safari stuff that people do.
If we've come across this camel pen, and I'm not 100% sure if it is, but I know that camel racing is a super popular thing here in Qatar, and that there is an area of the royal camel gardens, or I don't know what they're called. I'm not sure if this is that or if it's something else. The smell is quite pungent. They're also tied up, which I don't love. But I do have a fact about camels that I don't know if it's true, but I like to believe, and that is apparently they're quite, I don't know the word for it, but if they get mistreated, they don't behave. So hopefully this doesn't count as mistreatment, but it doesn't seem very comfortable. They're very cute though.
I had no idea this was here. I thought, I knew there was like horse stables around, and it makes sense. Oh, he just me.
Oh, hello.
What a little puppy. So it makes sense that if there's horse stables, there'll be camel stables. Hey, buddy. From here, we've got about a 20-minute walk to get to one of the hot spots in Doha, a museum.
We're not normally museum people, and wandering around inside all day doesn't really tickle our fancy, but thankfully this museum was a little bit different.
We made it to the Qatari National Museum. This is like on a lot of posters and things for Doha because of the way it looks. The architecture is like nothing I have ever seen. It looks completely alien. But it's actually modelled after the desert rose here, which is the Qatari national symbol flower thing, but it looks like coral. We've seen some in shops. We're actually too early to get into the museum, but I think one of the biggest things about the museum is actually the architecture anyway, so we are getting to see that.
It's really cool. I didn't think we would be allowed to walk around, and frankly I'm still not sure, but people have seen us and they haven't said anything. I guess we're not in there, we're just like on the grounds.
Yeah.
If we did want to go into the museum, I believe it would cost 50 rial per person.
Which, it's not cheap. Like in Adelaide and Australia, we don't really pay for museums, and that's kind of our expectation.
Which isn't a great expectation to have.
Yeah.
We are planning on paying for one later on in the day, but right now we're going to skip ahead to something that's about a 20-minute Uber ride away.
For our next stop, we've come to the Qatari Cultural Village. It's a little bit of ways away. It's kind of around the bend of the kind of main strips of Doha, so we're a little bit higher up. I say a ways away. It was like a $4 Uber or something. Yeah, doesn't cost much. But there's supposed to be a lot to look at here, and this is just like the quintessence of Doha. Is everywhere you look, it's grand and futuristic. Like, look at this. What?
The main two things that I know that are here are two different mosques. There's meant to be one with very detailed tiling and one that is completely gold. So they're top of my list to find. There's also an amphitheatre, because of course there is. But so far I'm overwhelmed with how big it is. So the Katara Cultural Village is technically free to enter, but there's a lot of exhibitions or like museums that cost entry. So far today, all we have spent money on is the Uber to get here. I don't think we're going to go in any of the museums here. Yet again, we are completely alone, and I think I've just spied our first stop within the visit, which is one of the mosques.
We've made it to a pretty iconic part of Qatar.
Wow.
Or Doha.
Doha. So as we entered and we got our passport stamps, there was this little sign right there that had a photo of, how would you describe these? Like three mounds with spikes coming out of them?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Clay looking things.
We still have no idea what they are, but we found them.
Little Tatooine from Star Wars. I think that was the planet.
We also found the first of the mosques, which I wanted to look at. It's reminding me of the Blue Mosque in Turkey quite a bit. I think just because it's a lot of blue and a lot of tiles.
Love that.
At this point, we are loving Doha. We're just a bit disappointed that we don't have an extra couple of days because there are so many extra things we would have done.
This is nuts. We found the amphitheatre. It's huge. Very architectural.
I definitely recommend you coming to this village. There's more than just one thing here, so you get really bang for your buck for coming out here. Plus, the views on the beach, splendid.
Splendid. We found the last place on our list in the cultural village, which is the Golden Mosque, and it turns out it's gold with just all of these tiny, tiny gold tiles, but in the sun, it just shimmers. This is pretty cool. Very unique. First impressions of this place is that it is super unique and very fun. I just really can't tell if it's like fake or if this is real. Is it historic? Like, we really should have done some research to appreciate it more. We are also the only ones here, which has been very unique and quite nice. Everything is also pristine. Like, there is not a single bit of rubbish on the ground. People are cleaning constantly. It is just stunning. It's like this place was made for Instagram. You could spend all day here getting the perfect Instagram photos with the coolest backgrounds. Like, look at this. What? So nice.
Katara Cultural Village is fantastic. We've got one more thing to do for daylight hours, and then we've got something pretty cool planned for sunset.
I know you heard me say earlier that we're not really museum people, but we're going to another museum.
Thank you.
Oh, that was not a smooth exit from the So we have come to our last daytime attraction, which is the Museum of Islamic Art. It's going to cost us 50 rial per person to go in, but we are going to pay it at this one because apparently the architecture inside is quite astonishing. They only opened 18 minutes ago. So we've actually been a little bit cheeky. We got in through security and then we decided we're not sure if we want to pay for this museum. Art's not something that is a passion of ours. We were more just coming for the architecture, and we didn't think that that price tag
was worth it for essentially a couple of photos that we wanted. We exited and a super nice security guard came up and went, "Why don't you just go to the balcony over there?"
Oh, okay, a balcony view. Thank you.
We came out to the balcony and it is the exact spot that we wanted to visit within the museum. How lucky are we? It's so nice. You get this amazing view of the modern part of Doha, just across the water with all of these archways.
It is super nice getting a view of the water here, but it's getting a little bit hot out, we're getting hungry, and the view of the water we're getting tonight is going to be even better. So we're finishing the day on a Dhow, which is the traditional Qatari fishing boats. They're essentially just wooden boats. There's hundreds, maybe thousands of boats in this harbour, and we're on one of them that apparently likes to play some music. But we're cruising around the harbour for sunset, and then that's going to be the end of our time in Doha. So I don't know how much talking we're going to be able to do on this boat because of the noise, but we'll let you know how it is in a voiceover.
Thanks, you handsome devil. The Dhow cruise ended up being a mini highlight for us. The boat's engines eventually settled down and we got to take in the epic Doha skyline at sunset. We had a great set of other tourists with us, and eventually the boat captain came up to chat with us all about Doha. It's such an epic finish to a Doha stopover and definitely worth it if you're passing through.
Final thoughts on the Qatar Stopover program.
Very, very good.
It is worth your time and your money.
We did the Cathay Pacific one in Hong Kong not that long ago, and loved it and raved about it, and I think this one might be a little bit better.
Yeah. We are suckers for recency bias though, so take that with a grain of salt, but I would do this again.
Also, we may have done a pretty bad job kind of recording this one, and I blame jet lag.
Yeah.
We were significantly jet lagged, but hopefully we filled it in with voiceovers.
Also, you get a hotel room, a 4-star hotel room,
Yeah.
if you take part in the Stopover program. I'll put some overlay. I didn't get any proper ones. I got some for Instagram. But our hotel was great.
Yes.
I think if you were used to 4-star or 5-star hotels, you might be disappointed. But we're used to 2-star hotels, so
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing.
And the staff were amazing too.
They were
They
so
were really
kind.
nice. And it was super well located.
Yeah. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend.
Anyway, on to Barcelona.
Woo!